Most artists think the goal is to finish a painting. But what if the real breakthrough happens when you stop painting? Today, I want to show you one of my very favorite painting projects, where one painting turns into a little art book with 8 completely new pieces. And it really does change how you see your own work. So stay tuned and get ready for some surprises. Today I'm showing one of my favorite projects that I come back to when I just want to play and experiment. It's a small handmade art book that you can create from a single sheet of paper. And there's so many different ways to approach it. But the way I like to do it is by creating one large painting first, and then folding it into the book to reveal these smaller, completely unexpected compositions. I love this process because you really have to let go and trust it. There's something that happens here that goes beyond what we can plan, or even what we think we're capable of creating. You start to see things that surprise you. On this painting, I painted the base layer in acrylic, and now I'm going back in with Neocolor 1, which is the non-water soluble Neocolor. And I really love how they build up layers of texture, and they just give a really lovely extra little quality. I'm accenting some colors. I'm layering other colors up for a dimensional quality and color interactions a little bit. And it's just a really nice, enjoyable part of the process I really love. So after we create this beautiful painting, and it can be any kind of a painting. It can be a representational painting. It could be an abstract. There's the fear of letting go. And I'll be honest, this part can feel a little scary because you're making an entire painting and then you're cutting into it. You're folding it. You're changing it. Even gluing it together so you can't see it as a whole again. That takes a lot of trust in yourself and in the process. I've taught this project before, and there are definitely people who can't bring themselves to do it. And I completely understand that. And I would never force anyone to cut into their work. But if you can get to that place, you open yourself up to 8 new compositions, or even 4 larger ones that you can take further into new paintings. And that's amazing. These unique new perspectives appear, things you wouldn't have thought of initially. And they're very unique. Things that you wouldn't have planned. Ways you wouldn't normally have constructed a composition just appear. And it's really exciting, I think. And maybe they're not finished paintings, but they're definitely waves into new paintings. And I love that. So these little books aren't new, and I definitely did not invent this idea. They've been around in the mixed media community for a long time, and a lot of people call them zines, Z-I-N-E-S. Usually each page is its own separate drawing or painting. But when I started creating one large image across the entire page, it completely changed things for me. Because instead of planning each composition, I was discovering new ones from the whole. And so I found that really interesting, because then I was finding unique perspectives from that were not something I would have normally created, but they were still uniquely mine. And I found that really exciting. And that really shifted how I saw my work, because breaking when painting into multiple compositions creates something completely unplanned, but still very much your own. You start seeing ideas you wouldn't normally come up with, and directions you might not have explored otherwise. So when I started sharing this with students, the response was really positive, and it became a way for them to see their own work differently. It's a way to generate new ideas from something you already created, and it takes the pressure off of needing a perfect painting, and it turns that painting into a starting point instead. I love that you can do it with a design or an abstract, or you can do it with a representational painting, and it doesn't matter, what your starting point is. It works equally well, whether you're doing abstracts or you're working with something representational. Now, in this case, I'm using oil pastels, and with the oil pastels, we're going to get a different kind of texture and a different kind of layering. I really love the way oil pastel works over paint, over acrylic paint. It also works really well with oil paint. Now, it's not as easy to use as the Neocolor, because Neocolor, you don't need to use any kind of a fixative or something to hold it in place, because this is going to smudge like mad if you don't do anything. But when I'm working with acrylic and oil pastel, you'll see in this clip that what I do is I don't really like to use the fixative unless it's a pure oil pastel. So what I do when I'm using oil pastel with acrylic paint, or in a mixed media kind of context like this over paint, is that I generally use matte medium, and I try not to go brushing over it too much. So I just put a little bit on. So I put a minimal amount on. I brush it in one direction. I don't brush back and forth, because I don't want to smudge anything or remove any of the color or smudge the color onto my paint. And I do one thin layer across the whole thing. It holds the oil pastel in place, and it doesn't move any of the color. You have to be very careful. But it dries clear. It dries really quickly. You could either just leave it overnight, usually is what I do, but it will dry within a few hours usually. And then you have a really nice finish. And, it has the nice matte finish. I use matte medium. I tend not to use anything glossy when I'm creating books, because the glossy finishes will stick. I love using mixed media for this. Things like Neocolor crayons, oil pastels, building layers, texture, and depth. And in these paintings, I'm working with an analogous color palette. So colors that sit next to each other on the color wheel, up to 5 in a row. And then what I did in all of the paintings in this video is that I added either a complementary or split complementary pop of color. Keep it casual, not technical. We've talked about these color palettes lots of times on my channel. This is what gives you color harmony, but a little bit of energy and movement in your pieces. So it also takes out a lot of the guesswork in your color palette, and you can just play with the rest of it, and it can be really easy. And you just select your colors within that broad range of colors in your color palette. You get them all ready, and then you can kind of just play. And of course, you're always able to use the tints, tones, and shades within that range of colors, black and white, of course. And it's a pretty easy process. I'm working very intuitively here. I just keep things really loose, layered, and I don't go in with a lot of planning. I treat it more like a sketchbook page, and I just let things evolve as I go along. The only thing I really plan out is my color palette. And once I know which colors I'm working with and which ones I know are going to go together harmoniously, I can kind of relax into the process. This is going to work for your abstract work, your representational work, but once you fold it, everything takes on slightly abstract quality. And I think that's part of what makes it so powerful. You're seeing your work in a completely different way. And sometimes we can find inspiration in places we weren't even looking. Even when we think we understand how we create, how we use space, color, marks, this kind of exercise shows us something new. And that awareness is really important because it gives you a new starting point. You begin to trust yourself more. You start making decisions with more confidence and less hesitation. If you're feeling stuck or overthinking your work, this is a really powerful place to start. I'd love to know if you try this and what you discover in your own paintings. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.